to 2-hour speeches minimum. I request Master of Ceremony to remind me once my time is finishes. For me, as you all came from different parts of India, and who I am, and ambitious, want to serve the nation, I would like to share my experiences as the way how I established the party, and I think my experiences might give you a different kind of insight. So that might help you for your future and to contemplate, and if any mistakes I have done or anything which I have done good, maybe that would be something which you can understand about your own journey by looking at by understanding my own experiences. For me, when I had established Janasena Party, it was for me, it's a national service, not for personal recognition, not for power, but for change. A change which is needed in our society, in our country, which we always wanted. Instead of sitting idle and having millions, having crores, having great popularity, I had really contemplated, would I end up like most of the people, or will I contribute at least a part of my life to the nation, to build for nation service. So it suddenly didn't happen after becoming an actor. Though I came from small beginnings, I came from a lower middle class family. My pain was always about the society which I used to watch around. The pain, the kind of sufferings people used to go through. Nothing happened to me at a personal level. I never had a shortage of food, reasonably good schooling, but my pain was towards society. When I started gaining knowledge about the society around me, I started reading, maybe looking at all our freedom fighters, reading their biographies. Somewhere I felt an immense urge and intense urge, like to do something for the nation, to do something for some kind of contribution for the nation. This started at the age of 14. So like you, when I started getting into my teens, I was looking forward some kind of ideology which I would like to embrace. As Digvijayji said, look before you leap. So what kind of ideology would you lean into? What exactly should I embrace? So I was understanding Marxism, I was understanding socialism, I was trying to understand capitalism, especially when you're a kid growing up in the 80s, when you're a teenager in the 80s, there was quite a turbulent political atmosphere within India and around the world, right from Punjab terrorism, Khalistan terrorism to LTT, and across the globe, there is still unified, Germany was divided, and apartheid was there in South Africa. So all these different political climates around, at a global level, the national level, really it drove me crazy. At one part, you look at the freedom fighters who had selflessly sacrificed their lives. And another way, always I was looking forward, the nation would be greater as every day passes by. Every day, I thought this is going to be another beautiful year next year, but I was quite disappointed as a kid. At the way they looked at the corruption, the way I looked at the nepotism, it was quite disappointing for me. Always my desire was a commoner to be something, a commoner to stand for the oppressed. But the society around us, it is only the dynastic rule, and everything really bothered me. So finally I became an actor, but that social consciousness never left out of me. I was quite keen. I was watching around, observing things around, reading a lot, absorbing a lot. But finally, when our state has been, Andhra Pradesh had been divided the way it got divided, and everything, I was looking at it, how the political leadership and everything, how conveniently it has become. The power politics really disturbed me. So instead of being an armchair thinker, I was thinking loud within myself, contemplated for quite a time. I said, would I sit like everyone else, or would I come forward and do something? I thought, without any expectations. without seeking power. But I want to stand for the voice of the oppressed. I want to be the voice for the neglected. I want to be the voice who are really meek and helpless. That's how I formed Janasena Party. And there were a lot of people, youngsters. Today, I said all of you come from different parts of a country, and you're looking forward to become some kind of leaders and leadership, and you want to have an active role in politics. In 2007, when I had started Common Man Protection Force, which is supposed to stand for the oppressed and meek and helpless, I had met a lot of young people, both boys and girls. But what I had noticed in them was, at least most of them, they need change within shortest time possible, like like an instant noodle. And 2007, I looked at the youth there then, the way they wanted everything immediate. They don't have the patience. Then that's what I thought, okay, let me walk the talk. So then from there onwards, I went on continuing. In 2014, I started the party. And I had lost my first election in 2019. Even I myself lost in both the places which I had contested. But that didn't stop me continuing my political journey. Because when I had started, so what must have made me to be here? What must have made me to continue it is not for personal recognition. There is no ego in defeat. If you really love this nation, if you really care for our motherland, if you really care for the meek and helpless, nothing deters you. A defeat of any kind of defeat, nothing, it does not deter you. And my commitment for my nation came from our predecessors, our freedom fighters, looking at the sacrifice of Bhagat Singh at the age of 23. At the age of 23, some people around in this period, at this times, maybe they're going for hotel and pubs and partying. But at the age of 23, Bhagat Singh, he sacrificed himself to wake up the nation for the generations to come. And that kind of Bhagat Singh is inspiration to me. And so in spite of my failure as a political party to get into the Sansad, but what made me to continue is, we are able to help. Being a party, we just had got one seat, still we are able to help people. Very recently, I would like to share a case with you. Around 4 years back, a 14-year-old girl in Kurnool, in the state of Andhra Pradesh, a student from residential school, one day she bid goodbye to her mom. Normally she would come back by the evening, but that day she didn't turn up. And this happened in 2015. Her mother receives a call from the school authorities, residential school authorities, saying that your daughter is not feeling well. Please, would you like to come and see? Please take her home. By the time she goes there, she's dead. And it was like as if she hung herself. That's what the school authorities says. And later they realized she was raped and she was killed. And justice was not done. And that mother, after I had such a colossal defeat in 2019, these elections, I was sitting in my office, I was handling my own failure, and this mother of that kid, that girl, with her husband and one of my youngest daughter, she comes and meets me. She shares her experience. It's like, Anna, this is what happened to my daughter. And everything is there, right from the certificates of she has been raped and everything, whatever has to be, the perpetrators has to be punished, but nothing had been done. Because they're powerful, the case is not moving forward. If it is in cinema, it is like, it's quite a dramatic scene. You go, do justice in 2-3 minutes and come out, and you get money for that. But in real life, I felt so helpless, so painful to look at a wailing mother who lost her daughter. It was churning for me, like my stomach was churning, looking at her pain and agony. And I said, and people whom we have to fight against, they're very powerful people, who has a lot of muscle, who has tons of money. Even for me, to fight against them was not an easy task. I told her, okay, I'll look into it. I don't know how to take it forward. Then I went ahead, slowly in 2-3 months, we gathered we gained some strength, we started addressing, and now finally a week back, we did a huge protest rally in our hometown called Kurnool, and we got the state government to make sure the case will be taken by CBI, and where the state government, for all these years, the previous regime neglected and the current regime neglected for a while. Now, it cannot be. They could not do it anymore. You know why? It's because if we are committed, if I would have needed a seat, if I would have wanted to be a Rajya Sabha member, if I wanted to be a parliamentarian, if I wanted to be an assembly, things would have been different. But my purpose here is to stand for the people who are oppressed and helpless. And as long as I'm committed to it, I'm fine even if I lose multiple times. But I will stand for this nation, I'll stand for the weak and needy. So, as you all are, maybe looking forward to gain something, paying 1,000 rupees to be here in this kind of seminar for 4 days, truly I have to appreciate you and truly applaud you for your commitment and for coming all the way from different parts of India. And I appreciate Rahulji to initiate all this in School of MIT of especially for such an eminent institution to take forward this kind of seminars, which would really help people. It's not just people who are within this auditorium, pan-India, who are looking at this seminar. They really get inspired and influenced, and I truly appreciate you for your patience. And I only think I would like to share with only just a few more things. I want you to understand, no matter what, don't come with a short-term plan. If you really want to be the change agents in politics, at least try to give at least a decade to 2 decades. I have committed myself at least 2.5 decades in 2014 that I would commit for my nation, I would commit for my motherland, that I will, whatever I'm capable of doing, I'll do it, irrespective of whatever that I'll gain or lose. I'm going to give 25 years of my life for the nation which gave me birth. So don't expect immediate changes. Don't expect immediate transformation will happen, because your time is very valuable. So I want you to be practical. I want you to be really pragmatic. So I want you to have loads of time, loads of patience. Don't try to be mere armchair thinking. So if you're talking about social media, anything is nothing, there is no, the problem with any medium or any kind of paper is not about how you do it, how are you going to use it. There are people on Twitter or on other social accounts who will do a very constructive job. There are another part of individuals who will be very destructive. It depends on which side you are on. Always try to be constructive, be properly, analyze a topic. Don't try to abuse people. Be practical. And regarding the time, I want you to understand, give enough time for yourself. Don't try to be, by the time you're almost been early 20s, at least, you have to give yourself at least 10 to 15 years to see a little change, a glimmer of hope. Just a little light to be seen on the other edge. You yourself at least 10 to 15 years time. Don't expect immediate results. It is not an instant noodle to see results. But I had immense despair when I came into politics. I knew all this. I had visualized all this. I had visualized my own failure. I had visualized my own success. But very strongly I had visualized is, one day I will do my bit part to transform, to stand for this nation, and which I'm able to continue my journey just because I didn't seek anything. I didn't seek any personal power. I sought personal power to people who does not have any power. Instead of giving out your opinions on social media is not going to help alone. You should come out in open. You should practically, you should do some political action. Mere attending seminars is one thing, gaining knowledge is one thing, but actually at the grassroots level, when you work, the kind of knowledge is going to be different. The kind of experiences will be different. You'll be a transformed personality. So mere attending seminars is good, reading books is good, gaining knowledge is good, unless it is not practically being seen, not being at a grassroots level. If you don't go to the places, if you don't expose yourself certain experiences, the leadership quality would not come out. So I request you all to look into that. Instead of mere gaining knowledge, I want you to look into it. Try to gain some experience at a grassroots level, gain some real experiences, not experiences at a mere sitting on the internet. That much I would like to convey to you. An ounce of action is better than a ton of talk. Be prepared to just a bit of practicality. Instead of gaining mere talking, I want you to be a bit practical. Get into hands-on experience. That would really help you. This, and what inspired me, what gives me hope is, when I said 25 years of my life, what made me to say that statement is, I'm not working for these times. I'm working for the generations to come. I'm working for your generation. It would take me time. This would. Because when I look at my own son's age, who is around 14, a little younger than that, I feel we have taken the greatest sacrifices done by our freedom fighters. Right from Bhagat Singh to a number of great leaders that sacrificed themselves. And yet, we don't carry that legacy. We are selfish, and we are completely self-centered. I questioned myself. I don't want to be the group of who just think about themselves, who are selfish. I don't want to be a part of that group. Whether I'm being an actor or not, whatever best I could do, I don't want to be that kind of society who just merely thinks in a selfish manner. So I came out, I'm doing my bit part. I also request you to do your bit part. There are enough political ideologies out there. I want you to evaluate each and every ideology consciously. Understand everything. What is the pros and cons of each and every ideology? Whatever the political parties are there. If you want to go into them, join in them. But I want you to understand completely. Is it what you are? Then please completely embrace it. Stick to it and fight for it. And what made me to say this is, in the country, the moment in one of my videos, they had shown that Swami Vivekananda, the great men like Swami Vivekananda, the great saints like Swami Vivekananda, who inspired me. And Martin Luther King Jr., who came to India, when he came to India, when he was in Bombay, when he looked at the riches of Bombay and the extreme poverty of Bombay side by side. And he was saying, only in a country like India, if the same situation had been prevailing in any other country, it would have led to bloody revolution. But only in India, how come nothing is happening? Why people are still able to smile? That is the greatness of our nation. That is the greatness of our nation. This is a land of Swami Vivekananda, land of Subramanya Bharati, land of Narayan Guru. Eminent great saints, eminent personalities, because who had selflessly sacrificed for this nation. Because of them, because of their spirit, this country will never get disturbed. No matter how many selfish elements are there, what kind of uncouth people are out there, but because of the kind of spirit we have, and there's nothing going to disturb that spirit, you're going to carry it forward. And whatever bit you can do for this nation, and that is going to be the hope. I have a great hope in this generation. I have an extreme hope in this generation. Paying 1,000 rupees to be all the way from here, all the way to Delhi, to listen to this kind of talks from different individuals, eminent individuals, that shows this country is going towards greatness. And I truly appreciate you for being here. I truly congratulate you for being here. And I would like to end there with this small verse of poetry in Telugu. This is This is written by Mr. Seshendra Sharma, who was a recipient of Sahitya Akademi Award. This Na Desam Na Prajalu, my country and my men. This was shortlisted for Nobel Prize, though it was not selected. If you ever feel, as you want to get into politics, as you want to be leaders, leadership is all about solitariness. You'll be completely isolated. Not even a friend will stand by you. Not even a friend will understand you, what you're going through. At these times, what you need is, you have to keep on get hooked to certain inspirational lines. So try to read a lot of poetry. Try to read a lot of biographies. So for me, when I go through a complete loneliness, a depression, yet certain times I go through. So I only think of one thing. When I feel extremely depressed, when the truth is not going to win, that's what the real circumstances are. So at that time, I read these 4 lines. Samudram ఒకటి కాళ్ళ దగ్గర కూర్చొని మరగదు, తుఫాను గొంతు చిత్తం మరడం మెరగదు, పర్వతం ఎవడికి వంగి సలాం చేయదు, నేను పిడికిడి మట్టే కావచ్చు కానీ గొంతెత్తితే ఒక దేశపు జెండాకున్నంత పొగరుంది. So a loose translation of this is, you have to forgive me for my English translation, though I'm not a poet, though I'm not good in English. But I prefer to, it's a loose translation of what I said right now. A deep ocean will never bark at one's feet. A twisting tornado's voice will never say, "Yes, master." A mighty mountain will never bend and bow. Maybe I'm a handful of dust, but if I raise my voice, it will reflect the pride of our national flag. We should be grateful for the nation we are born in. And be patriotic, be accountable, be responsible for your actions. And this country, we are of different ethnic groups, different linguistic backgrounds, different cultural backgrounds, yet always this country amazes me. We come from different backgrounds, different linguistic barriers, cultural barriers, yet we feel as one. We feel as one India. We feel as one nation. That is the greatness of this nation. No matter how many foreign forces would try to come and divide us, we will stand as one, we will be united as one. So, thank you for giving me this opportunity, and I'm grateful to you for listening to me. And normally I end up my speeches with Bharat Mata Ki Jai. I would be grateful if you say Bharat Mata Ki Jai. And thank you. And Jai Hind and Bharat Mata Ki Jai. Jai Hind.
बहुत बहुत आभार कल्याण जी। कई बार आपसे अनुरोध किया जा चुका है, पर आप भारत के होनहार नागरिक